Hello and welcome to the Grow in Pair. My name is Isaac, and with me here,
It's James Edge.
I'm saying Isaac. Should I say Isaac Goldfarb because you're saying James Edge?
Yeah, I actually need to look back and see when I started saying my
Usually you
surname.
do say James Edge, and I just say Isaac, but I will say today Isaac
Interesting.
Goldfarb.
Never noticed that.
Small things that make the difference. So, welcome to episode 16. After celebration of milestones last episode, we are now starting our way into our next goal, to our next 15 episodes. First of all, thank you for setting up our TikTok page and a TikTok account. And listeners and viewers, if you are not aware of our new TikTok account, James is more than happy to see you there visiting. James, would you like to say something about the TikTok page?
Yeah, got some content on there. It's going to be a place where we let out a little bit more of our personality. So we're going to try and post as regularly as time allows us on there. So yeah, it'd be a good place to see a bit more about us outside of this podcast. So please check it out, show your friends, like some stuff if you do. If you don't like anything, just move on.
You can say that's absolutely fine. If you don't like it and you think it's nonsense, good.
Yeah,
Give us his feedback and let
how we
us
can
know.
improve the TikTok channel.
Exactly. The power of feedback is so important. With that in mind, I wanted to bring the topic today. This is something I love talking about, and you know that it's confidence. Just before we started to recording this episode, James and I had a bit of a chitty chat about my feelings. I'm participating in sales course in the last 10, 11 weeks. Brilliant course because I'm not a salesperson. Well, I thought I'm not a salesperson, but
Mm,
apparently if you are a business owner, you are a
yeah.
salesperson, whether you like it or not. And I'm learning some new skills, new techniques, new stuff. But today sesh was hard, and it hit my confidence a bit about what am I trying to achieve, what am I trying to do. Can I leave from my new business? Can I make it happen? And as I came on this call just before we recorded it with James, James put his coach hat on and started to give his idea. But I said, okay, stop it. Let's record it. Let's record
Yeah,
what we are talking about. So the border between our life, friendship, and podcast is very, very, like small.
fluid. We
Floyd,
can
what are your thoughts, James?
give context to the listeners. Isaac we were just having a chat as we always do on a deep level, and I could notice he was a bit deflated. Isaac was talking about how many new clients he needs to get each month, having done this sales course, and him thinking about what he needs to do, seeing it on paper, started to bring in that doubt around, is this realistic? Can I do it? And for me, that's normal. When you're at an early stage in your business, you haven't run a business before, you're not like a master sales master, those thoughts are naturally going to creep in. And kind of one of the things I said to Isaac was, if we always think, is this realistic? I think 9 times out of 10, we're not going to do things because we're going to naturally side on the cautious side. My point was, you don't really know whether something's realistic. You can't really ever know whether something's realistic because you have to do it to find out if it is realistic. That was kind of a brief summary of our convo before.
You know how much I love quotes and sentences, and can't remember who said that, so apologies. While you were speaking, the
Mm,
sentence I was thinking of is if you stand in front of the ocean and you see, you look at the sea, right? How big and powerful that sea is. As big as powerful it can't drown you unless it's inside you.
say that again.
It can't drown you. It can't be like drawn in that sea
Mm-hmm.
unless it's inside you,
Got
unless you
you.
are letting it inside you.
Got
So
you.
basically, it's talking about the fears, the anxieties. There are so many out there,
Yeah. Fast.
so many out there, and powerful. And if you are not letting it going inside you, it's
Yeah.
not gonna take you down. And I think this is
Yeah.
this is kind of straight line to confidence, because yes, confidence means different to different people. And one of my favorite questions when I ask clients, when they talk to me about confidence, I ask them what confidence means to you, and usually you get a different answer because each one of us see confidence in a different way. Whatever knocks your confidence down is individual to you. So I came to this call really feeling like not confident at all. Not
Mm,
confident in the numbers I came up on my sheet and making this sales plan that I needed to make today. I'm looking at
mm,
it and I'm like, no, I can't do it. James said to me this sentence about reality, which like, okay, you see this differently than what I see.
mm,
You see it as what you can make of your reality.
mhm. To an extent, we can create our own reality, right? And this kind of links in with that realistic nature. We don't know what's realistic until we, in the present moment, do the stuff that we need to do, and eventually we will find out whether it is realistic or not, and that will become our reality.
What you're saying is the only reality you can assess is the present.
Hmm.
But if, for example, you have a dream
Hmm.
that you want to achieve, and let's say the dream that you want to achieve is buying a house,
Hmm.
just for the sake of it. You can't afford it at the moment. You don't have enough deposit to take a mortgage. What would you say? Do you say that the reality doesn't allow you to buy a house, or would you stretch the reality or stretch your present moment and see what other resources you can have?
Yeah, so that's it. In that moment right then, you can't go and get your wallet out and buy that house. Yes. But what you can do is have that feeling and desire that you want a house, and then start doing actions in the present moment that will eventually lead you there. And that's why I kind of see it as process and moments and actions, and then eventually you'll kind of be able to get to where you want to.
I
That's
think
how I
I think I had an aha moment now, James.
go on.
Because what you're saying is when you have a goal or a dream,
Hmm.
don't ask the question, is it realistic?
Yeah.
Now I'm getting a bit upset. We've been taught about goals and how it's important that they will be smart, right? Specific is important, so you need to say exactly what the goal you would like to achieve.
Hmm.
Measurable is, can you measure it? Can you say, okay, this is what I want to achieve? I can get it.
Hmm.
Okay. A is,
Actionable.
okay, what are the action you can actually take tomorrow, next 24, 48 hours, 72 hours towards that goal? I guess that's the A. And then R is realistic. T is time bound. When would you like to achieve this goal by?
Mm. Mm.
So I have an issue now with the R. Why a goal has to be realistic? What does it mean, a realistic goal?
Yeah, exactly. And your perception of realistic right now might differ vastly than say in a week's time. Let's say after that sales course, you were feeling deflated because you saw big numbers on a page of business you needed to drive. Let's say in a week's time, you are feeling really good. You've just done a coaching session. You're feeling like this is your calling. You can do anything in life. Your realistic then is going to be different than your realistic post this session today. So that's why I don't like to bound ourselves with that realistic part of the goal, like you said, because I think it can limit at times, and it causes us to overthink. Because the minute I start asking you, is that realistic, your mind then goes into analytical mode. Okay, well, actually, when I did this before, and you're bringing that thinking cycle, when in reality, when you started your coaching company, right, remember that feeling, and I think you mentioned this in one of our sessions the other day, that feeling when you first started doing all this, you were so like passionate, energy, excited, then you would have felt that this is all going to work out. And it's only once you start engaging your mind in a overthinking kind of way, it's going to kind of cloud you from that energy and that great feeling inside you had before. And I believe it's that great energy inside and feeling that drives you in the present moment towards where you want to get to, rather than you setting out a goal for the future. It's kind of like in that moment, use that energy and help you do those little steps towards where you want to get to.
Do you have any suggestion how to change this R from realistic to something else?
What
I have an idea.
do you think it could be?
Rewarding.
Think about the reward.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good take. I'm more aligned with that for sure, because that's going to help you tap into that energy and that desire that
Yeah.
fuels you. That's ultimately what keeps you, I think, during goals. Because
Yeah.
even if you write down SMART on a piece of paper, yes, it's good. It's a great tool. Loads of people use it. It helps kind of formulate the mind. But at the end of the day, it's that energy and that feeling inside, that drive, that makes you go through everything. And if you take it moment by moment, keep using that drive and that energy, I'm sure good things happen.
I need to change my workshop when I'm talking about smart goals. Now, seriously, I'm going to adapt. I'm going to adopt it. I'm going to get rid of this realistic because there is something in the word realistic and reality
Mm-hmm.
that is more has more negative impacts than positive. Think about
Can do.
when did you last time use the word reality in a positive concept?
Phew, good question.
You say
Wouldn't.
when you say reality check,
Yeah.
it's kind of wakey wakey, you're
Yeah.
dreaming. Or when you say reality show, come on, who yeah, people like that, but come on, it's trash, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or when you say, I'm trying really to think, when was the last time you used the word reality and it was a positive context?
It's a really good point. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because realistic, let's say, is quite an ingrained word. It was in the smart goal, and people are always going to say that. Businesses are going to use it. I think it is more on the cautious side. It's a risk management kind of word, I think.
It's a grounding word.
Yes. And in some cases, yes, maybe someone who is it's tricky this because I don't know how far the other way where you never even think about, let's say, someone who generally believes the impossible. I'm trying to think now, what stage does that reality check or the mention of realistic assist them in the process, or does it not at all?
But all the great inventions out there were made
Yeah,
because of people didn't stick to the ground. They wanted to dream. They
yeah,
wanted to build something big, something huge, and created
yeah,
amazing things.
yeah.
One of my workshop, I'm mentioning Thomas Edison, and I'm sure you're aware of the famous sentence that Thomas Edison said. He didn't fail 1,000 times to make the light bulb.
Mm,
The light bulb had 1,000 steps. It was an invention. It was a huge invention back in the days.
mm,
And Thomas Edison had to think
yeah,
out of the box of
yeah,
making something from something, like making a huge thing from something that nobody
yeah,
else believed that it's possible at that
yeah,
moment.
yeah. 1,000 iterations, so it's kind of like like what I was talking to, the baby moments to get
Yeah.
to where he wanted it to get to the end. Yeah.
How confident do you think Thomas Edison was in the 500 attempt?
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I don't have personal experience, but I wonder whether when you're so, because he must have had such a belief like inside him that he was doing something incredible. And I'm wondering whether when you've got that inside you and you're going through all those mistakes and everything, we'd look at it and be like, oh gosh, probably might give up after a while. But maybe when you're in that state of intense energy and like drive, maybe you just find all these mistakes as fun as learning because you're so confident that you're going to get to the end thing. It's kind of like a game that you're playing until you get there.
Oh, he was so driven that those fails on the way were just, for him was like, okay, this is not a failure. This is a feedback. I'm moving on.
Yeah,
Next, next. He was
yeah,
so driven to find a solution for it.
yeah, and confident.
Yeah.
He would have felt confident he was going to get there.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Thanks, James, for that conversation. I think it um, grounded me in a good way. Sometimes you feel, no, actually, no. After the sales course of today, I was kind of 6 feet under. So
Mm-hmm.
you,
I,
you
I think
kind
that
of, you
I
kind
think
of
that
picked me
means
out. You kind of picked me
that
up.
means you were dead, Isaac.
Yeah, but that's how I felt. I felt a bit like I don't have what it takes to do it,
Yeah,
but this conversation helped me, so thank you so much.
awesome.
And
Glad
if
to be
it
a part of it.
helped, and if it helped you, listeners and viewers, let us know in the comments below what confidence means to you and how do you see reality? What your thoughts about reality? And do you agree with our approach?
Yeah, and is thinking whether something's realistic a hindrance or a positive?
Like, share, comment, subscribe, do whatever it takes to help us to grow the
Yeah.
growing pair. Let us remind you, we have a website, thegrowingpair.com. Check it out. And James, what are the two things you are taking from this episode?
So I'm taking away that anything, so like something like the SMART goal structure that we talked about, anything can be changed. Nothing's set in stone in life. You can have your own interpretations, your own way of looking at things that works for you. Always be open to changing your mind on things that you might have already learned from before. And then the second thing will be when you said, is reality and like realistic ever used in a positive sense? Like, yeah, from that brief moment we had, I couldn't think of anything. So it's quite an interesting one. I kind of feel confident about my views on it because it feels right that it can be a bit of a hindrance in the way that I view things. How about you?
I love leaving you with thoughts because you usually do that to me in our episodes. The fact that I need to change, I am so strongly feeling about changing realistic to rewarding. I'm
Mm,
making my own smart terminology. Smart is a model, right? I
yeah,
don't care. This is my model now.
exactly. Yeah.
R is rewarding. And what we talked about, the reality, you kind of hammered me today in a good way. Try not to jail yourself with the reality thoughts. Luckily, we are free and we are free to do whatever we can and want. So,
Yes.
thank you for that.
Awesome. You seem a lot calmer now
Yeah,
versus
yeah,
the
it did.
beginning.
It did help me. It did help me. I came to this. I'm not kidding. We are honest here. You're right. I came to this with such a huge headache, and I'm feeling like, oh,
I thought you were going to cancel it.
no, never cancel on you, darling. Never. And until next time, see you very, very soon.
Adios.
Bye.